In a modern world full of glamorous cities, where many countries try to show their wealth with skyscrapers, luxury cars, and a lavish lifestyle, Norway chooses a completely different path. This Nordic country is one of the richest in the world, but its prosperity is not shown in a flashy way, and quietly appears in simple everyday details, such as small wooden houses near the fjords, clean and peaceful cities, and wild forests that are protected like precious treasures. In Norway, wealth is not about how much people spend, but about how well people live. It is shown in a strong welfare system, trust between people, and a balanced life between modern society and nature. Norwegian people do not chase excess. They choose a life that is enough, with enough time for family, enough space for nature, and enough peace for the soul. Because of this, Norway is often seen as one of the best places to live in the world, and shows that true prosperity is not about living more, but about living better. Norway is located in the northwest of Europe on the Scandinavian peninsula and borders Sweden, Finland, and Russia, with a coastline of more than 25,000 kilometers along the North Atlantic Ocean. The harsh geography, mountains, deep fjords, and cold climate once made Norway a country with very limited agricultural resources. However, from this land that seemed difficult to develop, the Norwegian people built one of the richest economies in the world, with oil and gas, hydropower, and transparent governance. What is special is that this wealth is not concentrated in a small group of people, but is shared widely through a comprehensive social welfare system. In Norway, nature is still protected almost completely, while prosperity quietly appears in everyday life through free education, high-quality healthcare, and green public spaces that are open to everyone. Oslo is a beautiful paradox of modern Europe. Even though it is often listed as one of the capitals with the highest income per person in the world, the city does not show luxury or extravagance. Oslo is not covered by glamorous financial districts, and it does not try to build symbols of power with tall buildings of glass and steel. Instead, the capital of Norway chooses deep and balanced development with green spaces across the city, quiet residential areas, clean streets, and a slow and peaceful lifestyle. People in Oslo use public transportation, walk and ride bicycles as part of their daily life, not because they do not have money, but because they see it as a civilized and sustainable choice. Wealth here can be felt in the sense of safety, in the quality of education and healthcare, and in the fact that everyone can reach nature only a few minutes from the city center. The Oslo Opera House is the clearest symbol of this spirit. The building does not rise high to challenge the sky, but spreads out gently like an iceberg and allows everyone to walk on its roof and look at the Oslo Fjord for free. It is a quiet message of the city that wealth is for sharing, not for creating distance between people. Bergen was once the most prosperous trading center in Northern Europe during the Middle Ages, where Hanseatic merchants brought wealth, power, and influence. However, after hundreds of years of prosperity, Bergen still keeps its small, historic, and friendly appearance. The Bergen harbor area has rows of small wooden houses standing close together, as if time has never passed quickly. In many countries, new wealth often means removing the past to build modern cities, but Bergen chooses a different way. The city decides to protect, repair, and live together with its history. Even though it is one of the cities with a high standard of living, Bergen is not covered with too much concrete or heavy urban development. People here give priority to beautiful landscapes, public spaces, and harmony with the surrounding nature. In Bergen, prosperity does not remove identity, but becomes a resource to protect memories, culture, and the slow lifestyle that has shaped the city for many centuries. Geiranger Fjord does not create billions of dollars in profit like oil or industry, but it is still one of the most valuable treasures of Norway. With its steep cliffs, white waterfalls, and deep blue water, this place represents another kind of wealth, which is the wealth of landscape, ecological value, and human emotion. Instead of using it as much as possible to make quick profit, Norway chooses to protect Geiranger Fjord almost completely. Tourism here is carefully controlled. The environment is placed as the first priority, and every action is considered very carefully. The development philosophy of Norway can be clearly seen here. Becoming rich does not mean taking everything, but knowing how to protect it. For Norwegian people, a fjord that is protected for future generations is more valuable than any short-term profit. Located deep inside the Arctic Circle, Tromsø is proof that wealth does not depend on a convenient location. Even with a harsh climate, long winters, and months of dark nights, Tromsø still has modern infrastructure, high-quality education, and a stable standard of living. People here do not live a luxurious life in the cold land. They choose warm houses, energy-saving designs, a simple lifestyle, and respect for the environment. In the dark Arctic night, the northern lights appear like a priceless gift, a light that cannot be bought and cannot be owned. Tromsø reminds us that true wealth is when people know how to adapt, appreciate, and live in harmony with nature instead of trying to conquer it. Lofoten shows a strong contrast, a group of simple and peaceful fishing villages located in a country that has one of the largest oil funds in the world. The small red wooden houses, the traditional fishing work, and the slow lifestyle seem to stay the same through many generations. The people of Lofoten do not use their fame to develop tourism in a massive way. They control the number of visitors, protect the landscape, and continue their traditional way of life. For them, wealth is not about unlimited growth, but about keeping their identity, their peace, and the strong connection between people and the sea. Lofoten shows that even in a rich country, people can still choose a simple life, not because they lack something, but because they already have enough. Trondheim is a place where wealth is invested in long-term values, such as knowledge, culture, and history. It was once the capital during the Viking period, and the city carries thousands of years of history. This can be clearly seen in Nidaros Cathedral, the old Riverside district, and the famous universities in the city. The national budget is used to support libraries, museums, public spaces, and high-quality education for people from all parts of society. Trondheim shows that for Norway, investing in people and knowledge is the most sustainable form of wealth. Stavanger is called the oil capital, the place that creates a huge income for the economy of Norway. However, an interesting thing is that right next to this rich city, Preikestolen still keeps its wild and natural beauty. There are no elevators and no large artificial structures, only a hiking trail where people walk and reach the top by their own strength. Wealth here does not control nature and does not try to turn it into a product. Instead, it steps back and allows nature to remain as it is. This is the way Norway shows humility, even when it has very great resources. Lillehammer is a small example of the Norwegian welfare society. The city is not famous for luxury, but for its high quality of life, balance, and human values. Winter sports, culture, museums, and community activities are carefully supported and developed for the daily life of the people. Life in Lillehammer moves slowly, peacefully, and comfortably. Here, wealth is not shown through luxury things, but through the feeling of safety, good health, and long-term happiness. Norwegian people believe that the greatest wealth is living true to themselves and close to nature. The philosophy of friluftsliv encourages people to go outside and enjoy a simple life among forests, mountains, and the sea. Even though their income is high, Norwegian people do not chase luxury brands or a lavish lifestyle. They value equality, humility, and responsibility to the community, and this spirit can be seen in the idea of janteloven. In Norway, no one needs to prove that they are rich, because everyone is supported to have a comfortable and secure life. Norwegian cuisine reflects the spirit of a country that is rich, but simple. The food is not complicated or showy, and it focuses on fresh ingredients and simple cooking methods. Salmon, cod, lamb, and potatoes often appear in daily meals because they are nutritious and sustainable. Even though Norway can import many kinds of food, Norwegian people still prefer local products as a way to respect the nature that supports their lives. Norway gives the world a rare lesson that wealth does not need to be loud. Among the majestic fjords and peaceful towns, people here live simply, slowly, and responsibly. From its huge natural resources, Norway does not build luxury, but builds trust, social welfare, and a sustainable future. Norway is not only one of the richest countries in the world in material wealth, but also one of the richest in life values, where people understand that true happiness comes from simplicity, balance, and freedom in the soul,